Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I'm Richard. I'm Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Joey at JWander on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Vivian at Lucheerful on the MakeCode forum.
Yeah, and so didn't have much of a plan today, but we were talking about doing commercials. We decided not to do that today, though. I think it'll be more fun when we have a bunch of people around, and also maybe when we've prepared a little bit more beforehand. But I do want to do TV stuff. Because I like that we finished up our game show, but I thought it would be fun to have something like maybe a game where you can just switch channels and a bunch of things are going on. And yeah, I thought that might be a fun thing to do at some point. Before that happens, though,
like the Pokemon TV game.
Yeah, like Pokemon Channel, the worst Pokemon game. Which I did rent from Blockbuster and played a lot of. So I figured we would just make a bunch of TV stuff today. So I want to make some things like static effects. Maybe like, I don't know how much kids these days have encountered, like when you have bad reception or something, or like when you're watching an old tape or something and you've got like the lines going across the screen. I feel like that's mostly like a CRT thing, and CRTs aren't that common anymore. But I figured we'd whip up some of those. It might be fun. First off, though, I am making a TV test pattern. So this is probably something you've seen at some point. Very often you will, well, I guess not often, but you'll see sometimes channels go like offline for a second, or they stop broadcasting, or there's some sort of technical glitch or hiccup. And this is what they show when that happens. It's just kind of a test pattern, and usually it's playing like a single frequency tone. It's like, exactly like that. And so I figured we'd make one of those, and this could be one of our channels. And it would also be a good thing to do effects on top of, because it has, just like a bunch of different colors, which I think is kind of the point. I think the point is that it just has a bunch of different colors, so you can kind of test to make sure your thing is working.
It's too bad they used up all those colors and they could only afford one tone.
Yeah, it's true, but budget cuts. All right, okay. Almost done here. I just need to fill in this little black thing. I have a reference picture off screen that I am using. There we go. And now we just want to take this and just shift everything down a bit. So we're going to select everything down here and do the old copy paste trick. We're about there. All right. Does that look like a test pattern?
Yeah. Flashbacks.
You like the pink or the magenta more?
I like the purple more, but yeah. I think pink might. Nah, I like purple more.
It's like bright magenta, so it's actually like it's almost like a perfect average between these two colors.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Well, we've got our TV test pattern. Oh, it really looks like it when it's like down here. Nice. So, like I said, I don't remember exactly what this is for, but I think it is mainly just to demonstrate that something is happening. Your TV is not just showing static, because you are getting a signal. It has all of the colors and everything coming through. So I want to do some effects on top of this. And I think the best way to do that is I'm going to add an extension right now. Here we go, no quarters for me. We're gonna add Joey's arcade sprite util extension that we're going to use to do stuff on top of this. This thing has a block, which is possibly my favorite block, which is this render on Z index. I just really like using it. All right, so I think what we're gonna do first is the simplest screen effect you can have, which is white noise. All right. White noise, you know what it sounds like. It's that noise. And basically, it is just random. So the idea is that it is a signal that is randomly distributed across all the different frequencies that there are. So everything is just random. And when it shows up on an old TV, it shows up as just a bunch of white and black pixels. Every pixel has a 50% chance of being white or black. It's actually a little bit more complicated than that because it's depending on whatever junk your antenna is picking up. So it used to be that like you could even mess with it a little bit if you like touched the antenna or if you like moved in a certain way. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to do some randomness. So we're going to use a couple of these for loops. We're going to make some variables now, which are going to be x and y. And we'll go ahead and drag these out and put these guys here. Okay. So we want to do every pixel on the screen. This is going to be really slow, by the way. We'll speed it up in a bit. All right, so we're looping over every pixel in the screen, and we're going to do an if and then just a 50%. By the way, just a general warning today, there might be some flashing lights and things. I'm not going out of my way to do that, but if I like make a mistake coding or something and you are particularly sensitive to that, please be aware.
I mean, the flashy, like, crackly looking thing is basically what the white noise is anyway, right?
Hmm?
Won't white noise inherently be a little bit flashy?
It's not really, though, is it? I don't think it is, because it's kind of just like, it's not flashing between two colors, right? It's like everything, it's like looking at sand moving.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go into here. We're going to do a set color. We're going to put in our screen. We're going to put in X and Y. And we're going to say for this one, we're going to do white. Otherwise, we're going to do black. And let's watch this go.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay. So that's a static effect. Literally all there is to it. If we want, we can go ahead and turn on show stats and see what kind of FPS we're getting. Hey, it's better than I thought we would get.
Yeah.
100 FPS. Yeah. We can actually make this a little bit better too by doing, if we were to go into our images and we'll do a fill. We're going to fill our screen with white. And then we're only going to set the black pixels. Should be slightly better. There you go. See, it's a little bit better. Got a nice little uptick from that.
Nice.
All right. So anyway, this is the easiest, I think, effect. I don't think it's very exciting though. Another thing we could do is we could make some white noise sounds happen. But I forgot to set up sound before the stream so that we could hear it. You guys would be able to hear it, but we can't hear it, unfortunately. Well, let me see if I can make that happen. We're going to disappear for a second. Nope. Cannot.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, well, I am.
That's basically what it sounds like.
Yeah, Joey will be doing our sound effects today.
So can we get another version of this where it's just like only 10% with no fill and we just set it to a random color to get it? Is that a just basic interference sort of thing? Does that make sense?
I don't know if I know entirely what you're talking about. First, though, let me try and bring us back. I dragged this too far away.
Oh.
Here we are. Okay. All right. So what was your idea? Let me go ahead and duplicate this. And we're going to just turn this code off for now. So I'm just going to put in an if. Oh, whoops. And we will put in a logic. Well, I can just go into here and make this false. There we go.
Okay. So if we remove the fill,
Okay.
we lower the chance to like 8%. And then we put a pick random 0 through 1 through 15 for the set colored at. To just get some generic random color interference.
Yeah, we might actually drop that down even more. Let's do like 2%.
This one could actually almost be fun if we had a little knob, because then we could like turn the knob, and as we turn it, the percentage chance goes down or up, depending on how far away you are from properly tuned.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing I'm interested in is doing it so that we have, when you change channels, an effect will start for a second. And then when you get to the channel, maybe that channel will just be fuzzy, right? So this could be a thing that shows up when you're just on a channel, you know?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, cool. Vivian, do you have any ideas?
I don't remember what it was like to not stream in 4K.
Okay.
What a weird.
One thing I did look up what the test pattern is for, and it looks like it was just primarily for users to tune their own TVs. So to check their connection to the channel. And so sometimes like they would be skewed. So like it'd be stretched out wide, and you'd be able to tell it in this case because the bars aren't lined up, but there's lots of other test patterns. So I don't know how easy it is to do skewing on here without.
Yeah, well, that is
Eric,
one I want to do. I want to do like the tearing is what I think it's called.
Okay.
Where everything is shifted for some rows, and you have these rows that are being shifted, and it goes down the screen.
Yeah.
So like the amount that everything's being offset kind of goes down. So you have like these bars of things being shifted. And I think that'll be a fun one to do. I don't know how hard it is, but let's what we're gonna do is we have these render on Z indexes. So I think we're going to make a function that's going to be render screen effect. And it's going to take in a number, which is going to be the current effect. And we're going to put these things that we have inside their own functions. So let's make this one, we're going to do white noise. Do this one.
These should all take the image, the screen image, right?
Yes, you're right. Fuzzy color. All right. Now we can go ahead and take this guy, this in here. And we need to edit this function and put in our screen. So I'll go ahead and do that. And now we're just going to do a bunch of if whatever equals whatever. You know, it would be cool if we made it so that when you pressed plus, it would copy your expression to the next one. Specifically, if it is a blank equals whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we already did that. I already did that for the arrays, basically, so it probably wouldn't be that much work.
Yeah. All right, so white noise is going to be 0. Fuzzy color is going to be. And let's go ahead and go into our render function. And we're going to call this render screen effect. And we will pass in 1, which should be our fuzzy.
I don't think we typed in 1.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, down here. There you go. Thought it was a quarter for a second. Okay. All right, so let's start doing a hard one. So I think that the tearing one's going to be pretty tough, but we'll see if we can do it. The idea is, like we were saying before, we want to shift everything over by a bit. And so let's see, what's the best way to do this?
Is there a function that's only in JavaScript for this, like a rotate or something? I vaguely remember.
It only works for
full images, right?
yes, for doing the full image, not for doing an individual row.
We could make we could make 120 sprites.
Well, so we are getting to something. We don't want to do sprites because no, that's insane. But let's do let's see, tear effect, and we're going to take in a image. It's gonna be the screen, and let's go ahead and put this one in here. Pass in our screen and start calling it. So we'll do 2. So now we're doing our tear effect. My idea is we need to have 2 images here, because if we want to copy all of the pixels over, you're going to end up overwriting the thing that you're trying to read from.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So we need to have an image where we can do the copying and then draw it back to the screen.
Mm-hmm. So we need to clone the screen first?
Yeah, so we need to clone the screen first. Luckily, that's pretty easy to do. All we need to do is we're going to go into here, and we're going to make a, I think I'll just put this inside of OnStart, because we might have a few different places where we need something like this. Go here. We're going to say screen copy. We're going to set screen copy to be here. It's going to be an image that is 160 by 120. And we are going to copy our thing. So we're going to go into Joey's sprite utils. We're going to grab this draw image to image, and we're going to draw our screen to our screen copy at 0, 0.
Do you have a clone image, don't we? I thought we had a clone image block.
That's going to be more expensive.
Is it? Okay.
It's going to allocate a buffer every single time.
Right. Okay. Fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So this does the same thing, but faster. Okay. So now that we have our copy, what we want to do is we want to basically loop over and do a band. So right now, let's just shift 1 row. I think that's a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and make this X. We're going to go from 0 to 159. And we're going to go into scene and do a set color in our screen. We're going to choose a random Y. So let's just make this 60. And we're going to set the color to be a get color. Where's our get color at? There you go. And we want the same Y, so we'll just make this 60. And we're going to make this other one be, we're going to need a remainder here. X. Oh, I tried to type X in. X plus 1 mod 160. And
Did not.
it copied 1 pixel. Did I not put in the X? Yeah, I didn't put in the X.
Ah.
I think that's a quarter. Is that a quarter?
Vivian,
You used it once. I don't think that's a quarter.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's kind of where I was leaning.
All right, good. All right, so here we go. We've made a function that shifts a row, and that's pretty nifty. And if we want to change the amount we shift by, so if I make this 5, all we have to do is change this number. Now we've shifted everything over by 5. Okay, that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and put this into its own function. We're going to make this shift row. And we want for this, this needs to take in the screen. It doesn't need to take in the screen copy because it's a global variable. We want to take in a number, which is going to be our row. And we want to take in a number, which is going to be our shift amount. All right, so let's go ahead and take this, put this over here. We're going to put in our shift amount in this plus. We're going to put in our row where our y is. And that should do it. And so now we're shifting our row in our screen. Let's make this again row 60, and let's do 4. I don't know. Exciting. All right, let's do something fun. Let's do a loop for index from 0 to 119. And then we're going to shift every row by
The index.
Whoa.
That's kind of cool. That's not what I expected, actually.
Wait, what's going on?
What is going on? It's a good question, Joey.
This doesn't make any sense to me. Okay.
Is
When you're reading from it, is the y being changed now?
Yeah, so here's the row, and then here's the row. And we're setting the x, remainder of x plus shift amount mod 160. Which is
So
right.
it's not going negative for sure. It's not. It can't be going out of the screen.
Yeah, so the thing we're so confused about, folks, is this. This looks right. This does not. This is where it's getting weird.
And the bottom is exceptionally weird, right?
The bottom is exceptionally weird. Well, I mean, I think it's the same thing as what's happening right here.
Oh wait, no, yeah. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what's up. Here, let's do this and do index 5 and see what happens. Okay, that worked right. Do index 100. All right, now that's weird. Okay, so I think there's something going on with our, this is screen get color at. Screen copy. I did exactly the thing that I said wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool though. All right, well, this is also kind of fun. So here we go. Now we're doing a nice little shift. Everything is slanted. And you know, that's nifty, I guess. But I want it to be dynamic. I want it to be moving, you know? So to make that happen, what if we went into game and got time since start? And what if just to start, I'm just going to do index plus time since start.
This might be a lot.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. So flashing light warning, like I said. So the idea is we want it to be changing by some amount, and I don't want to be doing it for every pixel. I want to do bands of this happening, and I want those bands to be like by a certain amount. And I want those bands to be moving in Y. So the idea that I'm having is that instead of doing for every row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do for index from 0 to the number of bands we have. Let's say 5. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another index loop, but this one I'm going to use Y, and this is going to go from 0 to 10. And now I'm going to make a variable, which is called offset. And I'm going to set my offset to 0. And now I'm going to add an extension that I'm going to need. Well, no, we're not going to do that yet. I don't want to add an extension quite yet. So we'll just set this offset to be 0. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to, for this thing, we're going to shift our index times. I want to do, let's see, so we have 6 bands because we have 0 through 5. So we want to do like index times 20. And then we're going to add our Y to it. And now we are going to pass in our y right here. And we should see some, there we go. Yeah, so we should see this. So now look, we have these bands. We have 6 bands going on. And each of those bands is shifted and the rest is not. So that's something. But I want these things to move up and down over time. So to make that happen, what we're going to do is we're going to use, well, one, I don't want these things to just be straight over. I want the offset to be like changing, so that it's kind of like Joey said, kind of like a sine. So maybe I don't even need this offset. Maybe we can just make a sine work.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be sine of like the current time since start divided by 200 or something. We'd have to mess with the number.
No, I don't want to use time since start for this.
No? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so first let's make these bands move down. So for this, we are just going to use our time since start. So let me go ahead and get the time since start. I'm going to divide it by some amount. This is going to kind of determine how like off we are, if that makes sense. So I'm going to make this time since start divided by 1,000, because I don't want this to be, so every second it's going to change if I do this.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to add it to this index mess that we have. All right, so this is changing our y position. And now what I want to do is I want to put in a remainder of this divided by 120. So this will just make it so we don't go out of bounds. So let's do that now. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted. So we can see it's kind of shifting over time now. These bands are like moving downwards. I think I actually want to make them like a little bit slower. So to make it slower, I'm going to divide this by more. So let's make this 10,000 instead of 1,000. Oh, that's still going pretty fast, huh?
Is it going so fast? Huh.
Add another 0.
Is that a plus?
Gosh. Okay, now it's going slow. There you go. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, that's more. I was kind of surprised it was going so fast in the beginning, and this makes sense. Okay, yeah. So we'll speed it up a bit more than that. Let's do like every 100 milliseconds. That looks about right. All right. So what we want to do is we want to make it so that this gets kind of like blurry. So we're going to be using, instead of just doing it by this y, which right now is making it so that we do at a 45-degree angle, we're going to use some sine fun. So let's go into here. We're going to go into, oh, I don't want a min, I want a square root, because obviously sine is in the square root one. Okay, so we're going to multiply this times 10, because sine goes from -1 to 1. So you need to multiply by something. For the sine, I'm going to taking the y times something. So the amount that we multiply by will be kind of determined. So the range for this y is going to be, let's see, 0 to 2 pi. That's when it comes back down. I don't know if we want to do a full circle. I think we probably just want to do a smaller subset of that. So let's think of just like times 0.1 and see what we get.
Is this going to result in a negative?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay. So that's a bit too lax. So we're going to make this a little bit more. We're going to make this times 0.3. That's a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that. So just to get a better idea of what this is doing, let's go ahead and take our background image. Well, we want to save this one. So do that. We're going to go into gallery. What's a good one, guys?
The T-Rex to the right, top row to the right of the forest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, so everything's just kind of getting blurry, which is fun. But I feel like so another kind of hallmark of this one is that the color is also distorted where these lines are.
Is that like we add one to the in the get we add one to the color?
I don't know. I think what we want to do is we want to do the first shift row that we do. Inside of this shift row, we're going to do we're going to make another thing which is going to be called color mess.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. And we're going to say that the color mess is going to be added to whatever the color is.
Mm-hmm.
So we want it to be 0 by default. Well, see, right now it's 1, and that has an interesting effect. But we don't want to do it for all of it. We want to do it for like, I'm going to make this like 0, and I want to do it for this first one. I want it to be 1. Let's see. Oh, it's because I'm immediately shifting the row again. It's causing an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I want this Y to be 0. Let's see. I think I just want to get rid of this. Just make this 1. Just make this index time 20 plus 0. And then I want to do, I guess, plus -1. There we go. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Scan bar. Do we need a mod to wrapper? For one,
Yeah,
it doesn't
really
matter.
matter. Yeah. Because that just means it's going to leave black the same instead of wrapping around a transparency, which would be weird. All right, cool. Yeah, so this is an effect. Let's tweak the numbers a little bit. So I think I'm going to make it so that we don't shift quite so much, because right now everything is just a complete blur. There we go. Yeah, all right. And because we're doing it by less, I'm actually going to increase this. So we're going to make this 0.6. Yeah, there we go. That looks good to me. And whoops. And now with that, I also want to make it so that we maybe have 1 fewer band. So we're going to make this 4. And that means that we're going to up this to 30. Yeah, nice. Okay, let's try this with another image and see what it looks like. Your turn, Vivian.
Oh, this big spooky castle.
Spooky castle?
Spooky castle.
There's a lot of pixels in the spooky castle. Let's try another one. I'll choose one this time. Maybe the yeah, let's do the stage.
Maybe we should have started with falling duck in there, so we could just drag it out and then have falling duck in the background. Have this apply to falling.
It would be good to have like a little game going on, I think. But the idea is we can make this into an extension.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to add whatever little effects you want to your game. All right. Well, I'm kind of happy with this. The only thing that I would think that might be cool to do would be nice if we did like half the row and then half the row up a bit. So it was like a little, because they're not always perfectly horizontal like this. But I don't want to do that right now. That's going to be kind of a lot. So let's not do that. Okay, I think that that wraps this one up. Let's come up with another effect to do.
Let's see. There's one that's just like black bars that go across the screen and vary in width, but that's not hard. Like that's just, draw a rectangle.
Yeah, that's true. Vivian, channel back in time, Vivian, when you had a black and
Okay,
white.
imagine like horror movies. They're talking and sometimes it random goes, just random glitch. Is that a thing that TVs did?
You mean like it goes like forward and back?
Yeah, like the rows shear and then like go back and you're like, oh my goodness. Or you could do a modern one. It's like, oh, it's lagging. Some of the pixels aren't updating. You could lower the resolution of it. You got bumped down to 240 because somebody turned on the microwave.
I like the lowering resolution one. Let's do that. That seems doable. The other ones, I like them a lot, but they're a little bit tougher because we kind of have to keep like a buffer of images, and not just one screen copy. We would have to have like several copies of the screen to make this happen. But that might be something you do some other time, because I think that those are cool effects, and I especially love the one that happens in digital videos where everything freezes, but as you move, the pixels stick to your face. That one's awesome. I love that. All right, so let's do another one. We're going to do make a new function for this one, and we're going to call this resolution drop. Oh, and this needs to take in the screen. Anything happening in chat?
Lucas, I think Flying Through Time had a flashing lights warning too. So he brought that up. I can't remember. Was it when you transported between the times it was flashing?
Yeah, I would do that.
All
right, so how do we do a resolution drop? Any ideas?
You take the average of a square.
Yeah, so fun fact, this is also how JPEG compression works. If that was something you ever wondered about. So we're going to go into here, and I copied over our X and Y for loop because we're going to be doing something similar. But like Vivian mentioned, we want to do this by a square. So we're actually going to do some math because I want to make it so that we can switch the amount of resolution drop that we do. So we need to decide how many pixels we're going to have to a square. So I think the easiest one to do would be just to divide this by 2. So we're going to put in a divide block right here, and we're going to make this 160 divided by, this is going to be our resolution factor, and then we're going to do -1 because this is a for loop. So let's go ahead and make this 120 divided by 2, and we're going to make this -1 also. Okay, and so what that did was we still have our screen fuzzy effect going, and this just made it so that we are only doing the fuzzy in the top left, which is not really what we want. Okay, let's go in. Let's add a resolution to this. Actually, add a resolution. We're gonna add a like resolution factor. I don't really know what to call this. And we're going to use this here, and we're going to go over to where we are calling this function and set it to be 2 to start. All right, so now that we have this going, we want to basically block out a 2x2 rectangle with whatever color we have that is an average of those ones. Getting the average is kind of hard though. So to start, we're going to just do something else. We're just going to do a fill rectangle. So we need this anyway. We're going to do a ×2 in here, or times resolution factor for our X and Y. We're going to make this resolution factor for both our width and our height. Make this screen. And then for the thing that we should be doing here, we want to go into our screen and we want to get the color at. So let's go ahead and do screen and put this right here. And we want it to be this X times resolution factor, Y times resolution factor. And I think this doing anything. The X times 2, Y times 2 with resolution, screen color at X times 2, Y times 2. Seems right to me. Where are we calling this? Resolution drop, screen 2. And in the render on Z index, we're calling screen effect 3, which should be triggering this. Okay, so this code is definitely running. Why isn't it doing anything?
So it's going to say.
You have two indexes?
Yep.
Yep.
Vivian gets it.
Nice.
I feel like we all got it at the same time.
Yeah. And this actually did a pretty good job, I think, without even taking the average.
It's not going to be that noticeable that you just picked one at random, right? Because right now we're just picking the top left corner.
Yeah, we're just taking the top left corner of each one. So let's go ahead and let's play around with this bit. So we're going to go to where we are making our thing. Let's make it 3. Still works pretty well. Make this 4. Do we need to take an average?
That looks great.
I don't think it's gonna. We wouldn't want to take an average anyway because we don't really have a meaningful order to the.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this is going to be really tough because we don't really have a way of doing an average because we have pixel indices. We don't actually have the like RGB values, which is normally how you would do it.
In scaling, we have to like in the scaling extension I wrote. It's like a complicated math expression that's like a bunch of ifs where it figures out which one is most likely to be the one that you want, and it's a pain to get it right. So just this, or even maybe picking a random color from the set. So not just the top left could work, but I think this is fine.
Yeah, I think this is pretty fine. Okay, so I'm gonna do some fun stuff with this now. We're gonna do our time since start divided by 100. We're going to go into math and we're going to get a sign out. And we're going to multiply this times 0.2. And then we're going to multiply this times 5. And we're going to take the absolute value. And put that in there. Whoa, okay. That didn't work. Oh, you're right. That's what's happening. Okay, where is the resolution drop? Go right here. So what Vivian rightly pointed out is that we have the possibility of this being 0. Which is not a valid thing because we're dividing by a resolution factor all over the place. So instead, we're just going to make this 1. And that's pretty cool. Okay, what's all of these weird line glitches that we're getting? Well, we're passing in a decimal. And really, our code only works with integer values. So to fix that, we can just go ahead and put all of this absolute inside of a round. And now we should get nice, clean things. Yeah, it's like you're focusing a lens.
Yeah.
Which is cool. All right. We're doing a lot of fun screen effects today. I've liked all of the ones we've done. All right. This was a really good suggestion, Vivian. Do you have another one? Do we have any other ideas?
Wait, Joey, does Joey have any?
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, Joey.
It's scan bars. Like just a line going out and stretching the image at certain widths. So it's kind of like the scan bars, except it's
stretch effect is a really good idea because the other thing I'm thinking of is, oh man, my mouse is being weird. One sec, I have to unplug it.
Does this always happen?
It doesn't happen that often, but it happens sometimes, and unplugging it and plugging it back in fixes it. I don't know. So sorry, lost my train of thought. What was your suggestion?
Stretch.
Stretch. Oh yeah, so stretching parts of the screen I think is really good. The other thing that happens, and this is more of a modern TV effect, is you take an image and you do stretch to make it fit the aspect ratio.
Yeah.
You know, and everything is just kind of squished.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an awful way to watch a thing, but yeah. So I think that could be, but Joey, yours is like stretching parts of the screen.
Yeah. So it's like either stretching out in general, like it's just not formatted correctly, like you said, or a scan bar, like a bar going down that's stretching it out, kind of. I will note that this one is also Eric wrote something that's would be very helpful for this, but we don't have it in blocks, and it's also not in. Maybe it's in this release. I don't know if it's in this release.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I don't think he's pushed it yet. I think he's still in like his own little thing. Okay, I'm just having fun looking at this effect. What's next? Yeah, we'll do this one. It's so good. This was a really good suggestion. We definitely need to include this one in the extension.
Yeah, our younger audiences, you know, will resonate with this.
Yeah, that's what Vivian's the voice of the kids.
True. What's up? Always Gen X, Gen Z. We're Gen Z. Woo.
Actually, real quick before we do that, I kind of want to do this thing that Joy was suggesting. So we're going to do a plus right here. And are you making a Z?
Duh.
Yeah, sorry. That was such a Gen Y thing to say. Am I Gen Y or is millennials? It's like in between Y and Z.
What aren't you Y?
I'm millennials. I'm a millennial.
Yeah, shouldn't that be Y?
I don't know.
Oh, it's because you had the new millennium.
Yeah.
So you just got a cooler name.
Yeah, no, it is cooler. You're right about that. Okay, I'm interested in what this is going to do to this. So the idea is we are adding something in a random number between 0 and our remainder. This Y again. Going to go into our math and do a random range. And we want to do pick random to 0, from 0 to our resolution factor -1. Like that. Same thing for our Y, and this is going to be weird. Let's see what happens. Ooh, that's something actually. I feel like this is specifically good for the moving. It just kind of like glitches everything a little bit.
Could we see it on one with a little bit more full? Because this one's on like the top 60 pixels.
Yeah, sure. Let's go and go into here, and this one's actually a pretty good test image.
Yeah.
It's definitely something. All right, I'll take it out though. Or maybe I'll duplicate this. And then I'll take out the pick random on this one. All right, so let's do some stretching effects. Okay, we're gonna make a function now that is gonna be stretch. Are you making an S now?
No, I'm stretching.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Everybody remember to stretch every time you code.
True. Otherwise, you might get blood clots.
All right, well, I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until this year. Now I'm like, man, I should probably stand up more often.
Luckily, I fidget all the time, and I think that helps.
I'm so good at staying in one spot. I could go on one of those shows where it's like, oh, don't take your hand off the car and then you get the car. But it's sitting.
Yeah.
I can't.
Which are very dangerous, surprisingly, shows. Like
Really?
Every once in a while, they have some bad things happen at those.
That's wild.
Like, well, the one that happened that was worse, I think, was the one where they gave him like a gallon of water first, and then they told him to stay as long as they could, and that one ended in.
Oh my gosh.
Let's change the subject. Okay, we're gonna do a quick Daryl. Bring this up a bit. Let's go to our stretch effect. And so with the stretch, I haven't really thought about the best way to do this yet. Let's start by stretching the entire screen. So what I think we want to do is we want to make it so that we like start at the center, and then we want to copy pixels and like double them going outwards. So the idea is we're going to be doing a, let's just do this for a row right now. So we're going to do this for X from 0 to, we want to do, let's see. We actually want to do 1/4 of the screen width, so 40, so, well, 39. And the idea is we're going to start in the center, and we're going to go out in both directions. We're going to copy each pixel over two pixels. I know that sounded weird, but that's the idea. So we have our screen copy image, and we're definitely going to need to use it for this one. Go into images. We want to color at, and we want to go into images and get a fill rectangle. So we're going to fill a rectangle in screen. We want it to be at our X. We want to choose a random Y, 60. We want the width to be 2. We're going to be filling in 2 pixels, and we want the height to be 1. And we want the color to be from our screen copy. We want it to be 60. And, oh, whoops. Okay, I want this to be X, and I want this to be X times 2.
We got a message from chat. If we've thought about using the software and game development categories before. And I didn't know those were categories.
I swear we've looked through those before, and I don't think I've ever seen those.
I think there might be tags under the categories, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe. We should look into it.
I mean, those would be good categories if they.
Yeah.
Are we locked to like factors of 2 or 3 here? I guess. Like, could we do if we did 1.5 width and it would kind of lose some? I guess. I'm just curious more than anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna make this do it for all Ys because it's kind of hard to see with one row. I realize now. Okay, all right. So this is basically what I wanted to see. We stretched half the screen. All right. We want to stretch the entire screen though, and to make that happen, we want to actually start from the center and stretch in both directions. So we're going to go ahead and shift us over to the center, and to do that, we just need to add half of our screen. So we're going to make this X plus, it's going to be 80 plus X times 2. And we want this to be 80 plus X right here. So now we should have changed this so that we are stretching the second half of the screen. Cool. That's kind of a fun effect. It's like normal and then stretch. And to make this a little bit nicer, what we're going to do now is we're going to make this function, we're going to edit, and it's going to be number, and this is going to be the stretch factor. Ooh. Yeah, so we want this to be times our stretch factor. We want this width to be our stretch factor, and we want this to be 160 divided by our stretch factor minus 1. Whoops. There we go. Okay. This will let us do other numbers, which will be fun. But let's go ahead and do the other thing now. So, wait, I broke our code. Oh, right, because it's a stretch
just
factor of 1.
Defaulting to 1, right? Yeah.
Go back to our render screen effects, and we're going to make this 2. And let's make it 4. Nice. Back to 2. Okay, let's do the other direction now. So what we want to do is we want to do another fill rectangle, but this is going to be 80 minus this x times stretch factor. I'm going to make this 80 minus. And we actually need to move it over by 1. Oh, wait, did that just work actually? Yeah, that just works.
It works.
Never mind. Yeah, ignore what I said. All right, yeah, all right. So we got stretch. Let's go ahead and make this 4. Make this 8. Yes, okay. Very stretched. Make this 3. Oh, okay, that worked. I was afraid it wouldn't, but actually that worked just fine.
Yeah, I mean the integers should all work. Positive integers should all work, but 1.5 it's gonna be.
That's a fun glitch.
Ooh.
Why is it doing?
Kind of pretty. Oh, who knows?
Oh, is it draw rectangle? And if it's drawing 0, it's. Oh, okay, I don't know what's happening. Whatever. Cool.
This is a cool effect. Okay, we got our stretch. Let's just make it 2. And I'm going to make another one of these now, and we're going to pass in this. This. Except this round that we have. Get out of here. Goes 4.
Ooh.
That's kind of interesting. And if we put the round back in there, it'll snap to actual pixel amounts. It won't look as smooth though. Yeah, so you can see it's kind of like a, I don't know what the word is. Like it feels like I feel like it's like a stepped, like a lower frame rate type thing. This is much more fun, I think. But it does have the weird glitches.
Like when you're stretching plastic out, with text on it and it's like breaking.
Yeah, the thing that's happening is that's actually the real image peeking out from behind. So I think the issue is the X and Y that we're passing for our fill rect.
Yeah, I think if we wanted this to work, we would have to do, instead of fill rect, we would just draw pixel and just calculate with a.
Well, what I'm thinking might actually fix it is if we go into here and we do ceiling, and we put the ceiling on the stretch factor.
Okay, and it would just redraw on top of it as it goes out further.
Look at that.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that makes sense that it would work because it's just drawing on top of each other as it gets.
Yep, which is totally fine. All right, cool. Well, it's 2:00, so we gotta go. But we made a lot of fun screen effects today, and hopefully we can put these into an extension. Maybe next, I don't know, some other day we'll do a stream of us putting wrapping all of this block code into an extension, because I think that's a fun thing to show off. Anyway,
there's a decent chance that these won't work very well on hardware, by the way, but not everything has to work on hardware.
That's true. I'm Richard, at Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Joey, at JWonder on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Vivian, at Live Cheerful on the MakeCode forum.
And we'll see you next week, which, are we even going to be streaming next week?
It's a good question.
We might see you next week. We will find out on Monday.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and say that stream is probably going to be canceled next week. Because everybody, well, one, it's a holiday in the US on Thursday and Friday. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a lot of us are going to be out or in a different place than we normally work. So I don't know, Vivian, how do you feel? I feel like we can tentatively cancel stream next week.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, you gotta keep them wanting more.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So,
Gotta play hard
no,
to get.
no stream next week. And also check the forum. We're going to be posting about a game jam either today or probably Monday. All right. See you guys later. I'm Richard at Richard on the MakeCode forum.
We're
We already did that, right?
Oh, you already did it?